Hey, what's up? You're watching The Sit Down. I'm DJ Sixsmith. Look who's here. Candace Cameron, Bure.
The other DJ.
The other DJ. Really nice to meet you.
Me too.
How's everything going?
Great.
I used to get Were You Named After DJ Tanner when I was a kid.
Did you hate that?
No, I was about it.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's good.
I liked
That's
it. I mean, I was a
cool.
Full House fan, so
All right.
that was a great character.
Okay.
Yeah. Could have been worse, right? There's worse
It could
DJs
have
out
been,
there.
but sometimes if you're a young kid and then even I'm a girl and
Sure.
you know.
I embraced it.
Okay, good.
I rolled
I'm
with
glad.
it.
I'm glad.
How's everything going?
It's all going great. I'm doing what I love to do and happy about it. Got a full year for 2020.
That's awesome. I like that you do like a bunch of different things here. So why don't we talk about the children's book? Because this is just another part of it. And like I'm leafing through it this morning, and like even though it's probably not for my age group, there's plenty of good lessons in here.
So
Being
cute.
patient, and like
Yes.
working with others. So what was it like putting this all together?
Exactly. Well, the children's books have been a dream of mine. This is the second in the series, but I've written several books, but there's nothing I'm more passionate about than the children's books. It was my favorite thing to do with my kids when they were young. They're all old and out of the house now, but I absolutely love reading to children, and so this was fun. Candace is like little Candace is actually more like my daughter Natasha. She has very spunky personality, and she kind of walks to the beat of her own drum. And in this book, she has to learn to have patience. She's helping her class grow a garden, and she thinks that she can help it along by adding more water and soaking it more and more, and she ruins the garden. So then she has to
Well, she makes up
have
for
some
it.
humility,
Yeah.
and she does make up for it. But she has to learn that with patience, good things come.
And it's better to learn it while failing, because so many people don't even step in the arena. Like it's a good lesson for a kid to fail and kind of go through
It's a lesson
that.
we all need.
Yeah.
All the time.
Definitely. And I feel like some people just try and avoid that, but you need to struggle. You need to have your
Yep,
issues
it
in order
builds
to learn.
character.
Yeah, definitely. So what was the biggest challenge putting this thing together?
Not too many challenges.
No, pretty easy?
These are pretty fun.
Like what's the time frame for just from start
It's
to finish?
actually quite a long time frame because of the illustrations, which I don't illustrate the
Right.
book.
You got some help on that. Yeah.
Yeah, and Christine illustrates, and she's fantastic. So the story gets put together, but it takes about a year for it to totally come together between the illustrations and then even once it gets colored. And then there's always a long lead time up. So the words are few. That doesn't take very long to write them, but the whole process of a children's book is longer than one of my trade books or
Right.
chapter books.
So where did the idea for this one sprout? Like, was it something that you went through in your life, one of your kids? I mean, it's a pretty specific example, it feels like.
Yeah, well, in each of the books, Candace will learn a little lesson. So I took, there in the Bible, in Galatians, there's the fruit of the Spirit.
Yeah.
And the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. So there's 9 right there. So Candace,
Good ones to live by.
Candace is going to, learn all of those things.
Faith has obviously been a big part of your life, so how has that shaped you and how has that helped you throughout your career?
Yeah, my faith in my Christian faith is like it's everything. It's who I am, and I feel blessed in the sense that I have been able to still have a successful career and be very open about my faith. Because it's not always embraced in Hollywood, and that can be for any person of faith. But I've seemed to be able to just make the decisions that stay true to me and my walk with God, and I love it. So it's everything that I am. It's the foundation of my faith is who I am. So
Yeah, and
I like that I get to involve that in my work as well.
Totally, and it gives you that strong foundation. It can definitely be countercultural. So in faith, it's very open and sharing, but Hollywood is definitely not like that. What was it like kind of balancing that as you were going through the thick of things in your career?
Yeah, sometimes there's resistance and sometimes there's open arms,
Right.
and you just kind of go with the flow. But no matter what, like I said, I've always just stayed true to myself, and sometimes if the answer is no and a door closes, you're like, okay, great, I'll walk through
that's
another
life.
one.
It's a journey.
Yeah, exactly.
So when you think about your career, like, take me back to like pre-Full House. Like, you're starting to become an actor. You're doing
Pre-Full House, I was 9.
I know, but
even 5, I started acting.
Yeah. So where were you at? Like, when did you know that this was going to be your thing? Like, why did you know at that point?
I knew that I wanted to stay in the entertainment industry when I was probably 15 years old. And so I've been acting since I was 5. I started Full House at 10.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And then, you know, when you're in high school, you start to think what I really want to do for my career. And I knew I wanted to continue acting and wanted to eventually direct and produce, which I've now done all those things, and it's great. But I have no idea what I would have done otherwise. You know, it was like a fluky thing in the sense that we just started as a kid actor. I grew up in LA, so it was just like something
just a thing people were doing.
You could do.
Yeah.
And then here I am.
Yeah.
Many years later.
It's worked out for you, I'd say.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the TV industry is so different than it was back then. Like, how did that show cut through, and when did it become something that people were really into?
Yeah, Full House when it first started was not loved by the critics, but after our first season, America really embraced it and embraced this family that was so loving, and there was always a lesson to be learned, but they weren't a traditional family, so so many different families could relate to this family. And you know, I think a couple years in, we all knew it was a huge success. And as a kid, you're like, great,
like, let's
you
roll.
know,
Yeah.
let's go. And you never know what you're gonna get when you're auditioning for a TV show, as a kid at least. So I'm very grateful that it was as successful as it's been, and for so many years. And obviously now we've done the reboot for a Fuller House.
Yeah, and it's nice getting back into that, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's incredible.
What would surprise people the most about your experience? Like, what are some things you hold on to that we may not necessarily talk about in the same big way as you do personally or privately?
Oh, that's a good question, but one I'll have to think about. I don't know. I don't know that there's anything that I haven't talked about,
Right.
but you know, I love what I do. I'm so grateful that I get to do so many different kinds of things, and I do have my hands in a lot of different types of projects. And you know, I'm a hard worker. I hustle, and but I'm here and grateful for it all, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of been the story of your life. So, like, you kind of step away from Hollywood, you start your family. Like, when did you start to get the ball rolling on doing books and getting involved in some other things?
Yeah, I took a break. I took a good 10-year break to stay at home and raise my kids. And then when they were old enough, when I felt they were old enough, I wanted to get back into the business. I always wanted to. I never wanted to stop, but I wanted to be a mom that was present at home. And so once I came back, like, Hollywood just opened the doors up for me, and it was incredible. And now, within the last 12 years, I've been doing literally everything that I've set my mind out to do and the goals that I've put down on paper to achieve. So it takes a while.
Yeah.
I've had to learn how to have a lot of patience.
Yep, goes right along with this book here.
And but you know, you persist and you persevere and you work hard, and then you get to play hard.
Yeah, definitely. So you're somebody that people can kind of look at and be inspired by. Who are some people in your life personally that you look to and have kind of helped you along the way? Oh,
well, gotta shout out my mom, like first person, my mom and my dad. I actually dedicate this book to my dad, who was a public school teacher for over 35 years. And I'm so, he's incredible, and so grateful to public educators. They do such an incredible job, and it's a thankless job. And then my mom, she's amazing, and really the woman I look up to the most. And of course, in my career, there's all kinds of people that I look up to. Lucille Ball, and Reese Witherspoon. I mean, the list just goes on.
I mean, those are two great ones right
yeah,
there.
Yeah.
Two women that have cut through and they've had some pushback. They've told their own stories. They've been funny in their own ways. And we need more of that because Hollywood has been very male dominated. It's been very white at times too. And we need different kinds of storytellers.
Yeah.
And it's cool that you got your children's book going too.
Thanks.
Yeah. Really nice to meet you.
Thanks,
Best
you
luck
too.
with everything.
Appreciate it.
Why don't you tell everybody where they can get the book and all that good stuff?
Well, you can get this anywhere books are sold or online.
There you go. Nice and easy. For Candace, I'm DJ. See you next time. You're on The Sit Down.